Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to Diana Emerson. Today we're listening to Murder at the Beauty Salon.
There's a vehicle. There's no killing. Oh my God, where's my daughter?
Search for a 34-year-old mother of three, Jolene Cummings, who was last seen at this Tangle's hair salon.
Jolene's clients have been with her for years.
She loved being a stylist.
We always talk about her kids. They were her heart. They were her heart.
He was supposed to leave work at Tangle's Hair Salon at about 5 p.m. You can see on the video a figure dressed in all dark clothing.
The 34-year-old is going through a divorce and custody battle.
And that she had a boyfriend that we discovered that there had been a recent domestic incident with him.
Do me a favor, hold your hands up. You got some scratches on your wrist.
Kimberly Kessler has been known by 14 different aliases, and she would find these aliases from cemeteries or from obituaries. She could use the same electric carving knife and very quickly cut up a body.
And I attempted to locate the resident, and no such address even existed.
Think also to Joanne that you're not who you say you are. And that's why she was going to find out who is this person.
This is what he's going to tell you. I mean, about the situation.
And I grabbed the gun.
I had the first place to put right. Yes, sir.
The only thing they could do was kill him.
Do you want to say anything?
Leave the jury to find the defendant. Right this minute, deputies in Nassau County are asking for your help finding this missing woman. This is a missing mom named Jolene Cummings.
She hasn't been seen since Saturday and did not show up to pick up her kids from her ex-husband on Mother's Day.
I really didn't know what to think. It wasn't like Jolene. Initially, I thought, well, she's sleeping because she works so hard. You know, every Saturday, that was her busiest day.
Jolene Cummings worked at the Tangle's Hair Salon in the town of Yulee, Florida.
Nice people who worked there. Jolene's clients have been with her for years. People knew one another.
Oh gosh, she loved being a stylist. She had a lot of loyal customers.
Jolene was a free spirit. She was very kind. She was loving. We always talked about her kids. They were her heart. They were her heart.
There was always a big celebration for Mother's Day, except this was extra special. And it was her birthday. It would have been the first Mother's Day she was able to celebrate with the three children, being Mother's Day and her birthday. I knew there was something wrong. Jolene would never, ever miss picking up those children.
She didn't call her own mother, and she didn't post anything on social media. And so the day after Mother's Day, Jolene's mother called the sheriff's office to report her daughter missing.
The case was assigned to Nassau County Sheriff's Detective Wayne Harrington.
The last time we could determine that she was seen was Saturday around the time that she was supposed to leave work at Tangle's Hair Salon at about 5 p.m.
First Post News reporter Nick Rowe has been digging to find out more about Cummings and has more tonight from Nassau County. The 34-year-old with her ex-husband and is going through a divorce and custody battle. He claims, however, she's probably on a bender somewhere.
Everybody was a suspect, but certainly law enforcement looked at those people who were close to Jolene with scrutiny.
Certainly, she did have a husband that she was in the process of a divorce with, and she had a boyfriend that we discovered that there had been a recent domestic incident with him. So those are going to be two of the first people that we wanted to speak to.
Yeah, right.
The husband was very cooperative from the start. He voluntarily showed up at the sheriff's office.
Detective Harrington told the husband, Jason Cummings, that he was a person of interest.
I'm here because Jolene's missing. Okay, she hadn't been seen since she left work on Saturday. My hope is that she is going to turn up. I have no evidence right now that it's foul play. I have no evidence that it's not foul play. It's concerning to me. Do I know where her boyfriend is?
Her husband told the detective Jolene's new boyfriend was a junkie.
I found out that she was hanging out with a home crowd. And you use the word junkie when you talk about drugs. What are you saying? She has some kind of drug habit? I don't know per se that she does. But the crowd she was hanging out with is known for being idiots. I've seen this happen a dozen times. Seen, what do you mean seen what happened? Seen this repeatedly. Okay. And I got my hopes up that she's is drug. I hope she's doing drugs. I hope she's drug. I need help. That's what I think. He allowed for a search of his cellular phone. He allowed a search of his vehicle, and he gave a account of his activity for the weekend. And we did follow up and verify his alibi, and it was determined that he had nothing to do with Jolene going missing.
So now Jolene's boyfriend, Jason G., emerged as a person of great interest, especially after police learned he was wanted on an outstanding warrant.
We did locate him and arrested him on the unrelated warrant. I want you to know you're not charged in any way with her being missing. Right now, we don't know if anybody's involved or not involved.
You know, they'd had issues in their relationship that became known to law enforcement.
Do me a favor, let me hold your hands up like this. Flip on for me. You got some scratches on your wrist and everything. Tell me about those.
He said they came from playing with his dog.
We did have a report of a confrontation at her house a few days earlier.
Do you mind if I take a look at your chest and make sure you don't have what's going on?
So certainly we wanted to talk to him.
You didn't cause any harm to Joey? No, sir. None whatsoever. So you don't want to take the polygraph? Yes. I did not hurt her. Not hurt her.
But G could not recall exactly where he had been over the last 2 days and said he had somehow lost his phone.
If you could be sitting in our seats and listen to this interview, like I told you, these cameras are for real. Your story's making no sense. Oh, well, I didn't know. And it's not for you to come clean and tell us what you did with it. Then where's your phone? This is your opportunity here to clear your name, and you're acting like a jack. Y'all have been to me. I had nothing to do with this. Remember this when you're looking at this in court 6 months from now. You listen to this interview, you sit there lying.
There was still no evidence of a crime, no sign of Jolene or of her car.
You know, she's an adult. We didn't know if she just went off with somebody else for the weekend and didn't show. We didn't know.
Good evening from Yulee. An update here from Jolene Cummings. Search for a 34-year-old mother of three was last seen at this Tangles hair salon.
It was day 2 of the search for Jolene Cummings.
Police want you to be on the lookout for this beige 2006 Ford Expedition with Florida tag 035 KBQ.
The day after the flyer was released, I had a gentleman call and said that he believed that he had seen the vehicle in a Home Depot parking lot in Yulee.
There's a vehicle, but there's no Jolene. And my God, where's my daughter?
The discovery of Jolene's car was an important break in this case. Once they got the surveillance video, it just led to one piece of evidence after another.
The video showed the vehicle being parked there about 1:17 a.m. You can see on the video a figure dressed in all dark colored, appeared to be all black color clothing, walking towards a nearby convenience store.
We knew she was a woman dressed in all black, but law enforcement enforcement did not know who she was.
She eventually asked the clerk to use the phone to get a taxi cab. We started looking at it, this possibly foul play involved with this missing person. We may be working something here other than just a missing person.
All of these things are happening at one time while detectives are at the salon, talking to the owner, finding out who was last with Jolene.
The women at the salon said Jolene and another stylist, Jennifer Seibert, were scheduled to close up the salon on that Saturday.
They were able to put two and two together and have one of Jolene's colleagues actually identify as Jennifer Seibert from the video.
Jennifer had already raised suspicions earlier in the day.
She was actually physically pulling into the parking lot, and when the owner told her that the police were there, she immediately exited the parking lot and told the owner that she was not going to come into work. As a matter of fact, she was quitting, and they could mail her final paycheck. Spoke to the owner of the salon and got an address that she had provided on her employment application. When I attempted to locate the residence, there's no such address even existed.
She was crazy. She was never wanting to let anybody know any personal things about her at all. Where she came from, where she'd been, where she lived. She's just so weird. And I remember telling my mom, I was like, I feel like that she killed somebody and she's on the run.
I'd gotten my hair cut, and Jolene and I were talking, and she just kind of comes up and butts right in, and she's really kind of nasty towards Jolene.
And we kind of come to the conclusion that maybe she was living out of her vehicle. So, we began to search the area, both within Nassau County and surrounding counties.
We eventually found her down in St. Johns County, and she was taken into custody for auto theft, for stealing Jolene's vehicle.
My name is Wayne, this is Charlie. We want to talk to you for a few minutes. So, what name do you want me to call you? Because I was talking to the detective that drove me up, and he said I might have been calling you by the wrong.
When you want to run my fingerprints through, they come up as Kimberly Lee Kessler. I was born in May of 1968, May 9th. I am 50 years old. I've been living under this particular alias since 1999, so not quite 1999. This is about 19 years. That's about it. So I would prefer to be called Kim.
She had gone by about 17 different names, lived in 33 cities and 14 states. She's obviously running or hiding from something.
You look at the series of her driver's license photos over the course of the last 2 decades, it's remarkable. Hairstyle, hair color, weight. She changes her appearance to fit whoever it is that she wants to be at that moment. And she would find and own these aliases from cemeteries or from obituaries. The name Jennifer Seibert is the name of a young woman who was killed in a car crash. She tried to make the reason that she had this alias was because she'd obtained an injunction against an abusive boyfriend. What we made of it, it was just more of her deception.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm calling you by your right name. I was trying to build a rapport with her. I noticed right away that she loved to talk about herself.
I was working as a topless dancer, and that was before my truck driving debut. So, I did that just for a little while. Just I love to dance, and I'm ready to go back to being myself. I spent about 25 years running from the FBI, and I thought I could build like a life for myself, and I've done nothing. I've been trying. I've been living in my car for the last over 2 years.
The interview took a different turn, and we started confronting her about the disappearance, and that we believed that she had done something with Jolene.
Did an accident happen on the 20th?
I think Jolene's dead, and I think you know where Jolene is.
And then Detective Wayne Harrington told Kessler to think of Jolene's two little boys.
I dread the point that it's going to happen. I'm going to have to tell them that their mom is gone. Okay. But I need to at least let them be able to give her a problem. If she's out there somewhere, her body's out there somewhere. We're going to find out what happened. I don't mean that in a threat. I don't mean that in a bad way. I've been here for 4 days on this, 16, 18 hours a day because I'm going to find out where those little boys' mom is. I promise you I'm going to do that. You can help me do that. You're the one that can make it happen right now.
No, I cannot, and I'm not, again, whatever fury may come. So let me reply this way, and you may not like the answer. I would like legal counsel.
She immediately, at that time, knew it was time to stop talking and request an attorney. Let me clarify. Do you not want to talk to me? Do you not want to talk to me without legal counsel? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're going to get an attorney. But if you change your mind and want to talk to me, I'm going to reunite those boys if it's nothing with their mother's body. I know that's necessary. I know she's dead. Okay?
All right.
She was taken into custody, obviously, for the auto theft, and then quickly we honed in on her as Jolene's murder.
Now there's a growing memorial for the woman police believed to be dead.
The hair salon was now a crime scene.
At that time, I said, we got to get our crime scene guys over to that salon and really process it to the naked eye. Just general appearance. She did a pretty good job of cleaning up.
But the forensic team has ways to see what the naked eye cannot, using a chemical called luminol, or blue star, that turns blue when it detects even small amounts of blood.
Basically, there were areas of the salon that literally lit up like a Christmas tree. It was very obvious that there had been a significant amount of blood throughout the salon. There was a mop that was located in the salon that had obviously been cleaned, but it also tested positive for blood, which indicated that, that was one of the items that was used to clean the salon.
The focus was no longer on Jolene Cummings' boyfriend, especially after the discovery of a new surveillance video of Kimberly Kessler.
There were some dumpsters that were located behind the salon. We could see her emptying garbage bags into the dumpster, but you could tell they had some significant weight to them. As you watch the video, the way she had to throw them into the dumpster. So we did have the video of her disposing of something in the dumpster. She's also seen with a large blue plastic bin, and she's seen carrying that or dragging it out back and actually dumping some contents into the wood line behind the salon. We did recover that blue bin that was left in the wood line. It did test positive for blood, and a portion of one of Jolene's fingernails was found inside that bin.
The prosecutors wanted much more than just one fingernail.
So contacted the landfill to see where those trucks that emptied those dumpsters, where would they go, where would they dump?
Search for the Nassau County mother of three. It is now crossing state lines, leading investigators to a landfill in Georgia.
It was in July. It's very hot, nasty. That's the last place you want to look for something, is a garbage landfill. Everything looks the same because when they dump, they got these bulldozers pushing the trash in different areas. So you may dump here, but it may wind up over there.
We're obviously looking for human remains. We're looking for the type of clothing that Jolene was wearing.
We did find a lot of bones in those areas. We had to call a professor, and she determined they were all animal bones.
But in the search for Jolene,
Had no luck.
No body found at all.
We have successfully tried first-degree murder cases without bodies before, and under the law in Florida, we can do that.
and the effort to find enough evidence to bring murder charges led to a warrant to go through Kessler's internet search history.
She searched for female serial killers in Florida. She searched for no body, no crime.
And detectives tracked down people around the country who had dealt with Kessler. A doctor at the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota who had rented her an apartment.
Her lifestyle was bizarre. She had a significant amount of paranoia and delusional mental activity.
A man in Texas who met her online.
And then when she came up here, she offered to marry me.
A classmate of Kessler's from high school whose brother had broken up with her.
And she said, I'll get even with you. And she waited for him to fall asleep, but she hit him over the mouth with a baseball bat, basically just blew all his teeth right out.
An ex-boyfriend in Pennsylvania.
We gotta get out. And she's like, well, I couldn't take him with me, so I had to kill him. Did you say how she did that? She shot him with a shotgun.
But in the case of Jolene Cummings, detectives believe Kessler took a much different approach.
We actually had video surveillance and a receipt of her going to the Walmart store in Ferndale Beach.
She purchased a gallon of ammonia, some glam gloves, rubber gloves, and what was shocking to me, she bought an electric knife. And I'm thinking, you got to be kidding. She's not going to do something like this.
We retained a forensic anthropologist who conducted an experiment on a cadaver and was able to confirm that, in fact, yes, she used the same electric carving knife that we know that Kimberly Kessler bought from a Walmart. And very quickly and very easily, you can cut up a body. It's clear there was a fight in that salon. It's clear, even though we don't have Jolene's body, that she fought back. And it's clear to us that Kimberly Kessler cut up Jolene's body. It's horrifying.
Tonight, Kimberly Kessler is charged with first-degree premeditated murder. There's still no body, but deputies say they have both physical and circumstantial evidence. Our Julia Janae is live at the state attorney's office tonight with the rest of the story. Julia.
Today, the mother of Jolene Cummings, who said she's heartbroken, also telling me that she's thankful at how the community has reacted to her daughter's missing persons case.
Jolene's life was stolen from us, not by the hands of God, but by evil itself, manifested in what I call a monster.
She's a sociopath.
Was hurting you?
No, they feel great. You can put them on cider if you want.
Where do you want to do?
Not your mercy, so have as much fun as you'd like.
And she's also a very narcissistic person. I think she was interested, weirdly, about what fame or attention this might even bring her.
This is a prepaid call from Ken Kessler. Hello, Mom. It's kind of funny. They keep me in solitary confinement like it's a bad thing. It's heaven, girl. I love it. I don't know what happened. All I know is that I didn't do anything. I had nothing to do with it. I have no idea. They're just trying to make me look bad in front of the judge by keeping me in here and just making it so I stay in here. Because they don't have anything on me because it's all bull.
I truly think that she thinks she's smarter than everybody else and that she didn't need anybody else, that she could get away with this, that she was going to get away with her.
Miss Kimberly Kessler or Cyber, she said she will not want to come out to court. She's going to put out a show.
While she was held in the Nassau County Jail pre-trial, She went on a hunger strike.
She got down to 70 something pounds. I did go over and talk to her one day. I asked her why she didn't eat. She said she was afraid she was going to be poisoned.
She did terrible things in the jail. The guards who were responsible for keeping her safe and fed and were incredibly abused by Kimberly Kessler. She would throw her feces at them, and she did searches about what the punishment, the penalty for doing that was.
She was playing crazy. She was acting crazy, but she wasn't crazy.
But Kessler's defense lawyers saw an opening that they could prove she was not competent to stand trial.
So her lawyers brought this incompetency issue before the court on multiple occasions.
We are following breaking news this afternoon. A judge has ruled that Kimberly Kessler is incompetent to stand trial for the murder of a Nassau County mother. She will now be sent to a Florida behavioral hospital.
She's a nut, for lack of a better word. Does she have personality disorders? She probably does. But is she crazy and doesn't understand? No, I don't buy that for a minute.
But there would be no trial unless the prosecution could reverse the ruling and prove Kimberly Kessler was indeed competent to stand trial. The competency hearing was difficult.
I'm a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner.
Alexandra Johnson was the prosecution's key witness.
That her behavior is something that is thought out and organized, as opposed to somebody who's just smearing feces everywhere.
And our prosecutors did a really fine job of bringing in the guards who were communicating with her on a daily basis.
Is Ms. Kessler capable of communicating the thoughts and coming to you? Yes, sir.
We had a fantastic judge in this case, trial judge. It became very apparent to all of us in the court that this was just more of the same. Her deliberately attempting to control a scenario. This is not a crazy person or an incompetent person.
And first at 5 tonight, a high-profile murder suspect is competent to stand trial. The ruling comes just 3 months after Kimberly Kessler was found mentally incompetent to stand trial.
But it would be a murder trial with no body, and in the courtroom, no defendant.
Every time she came into the courtroom, she had outbursts. She was just yelling.
She wouldn't cooperate with anybody, wouldn't cooperate with her attorneys.
I refuse it. I have refused it. I refuse the public defender's office. They appointed Jordan Beard, Jolie Fleming's cousin.
She kept saying a phrase about Jordan Beard, who was representing her in the case, saying that was Jolene Cummings' cousin. Of course, it wasn't, but she would make those outbursts continually in the courtroom.
And what, you don't want the public to know that? You don't want them to know?
The judge would attempt to talk to her, to ask her to participate in her defense, and she refused to.
So the judge, there was no way to really conduct court with her in there.
The jury did not know about the multitude of times that Kimberly Kessler had tried to act crazy, fake crazy. They didn't know that at all. And they also didn't know why she wasn't in the courtroom.
Kessler was downstairs in a holding area, watching a video feed from the courtroom.
Finally, one last instruction being reading. Kimberly Kessler is absent from these proceedings at this time. This is a matter which must not in any way affect you during the proceedings in this case. You must not engage in any speculation nor draw any inference from Ms. Kessler's absence. It must not in any way affect your verdict. So at this time, I'm going to counsel the stage ready for the to begin.
Good morning. On Saturday, May 12th, 2018, Jolene Cummings was a devoted mother of 3 young children. Jolene had plans to make a Mother's Day gift with her children to give to her own mother. But as Jolene Cummings made plans for the next day of her life, the defendant had planned Jolene's death.
And prosecutor Donna Thurston took the jury through the forensic evidence from the salon and the surveillance footage of Kessler.
In addition to the physical evidence, we had the very compelling internet searches that Kessler had done. Her own searches, her own words, her own inquiry was incredibly damning evidence.
It is this evidence that will convince you beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant planned the murder of Jolene Cummings.
Kessler's other public defender, Thomas Townsend, who she had also tried to fire, did not dispute the basic facts of the case.
Physical evidence in this case that you're going to see is going to convince you very clearly the only things they can prove in this case is that there was some sort of fight, some violent physical altercation. Clearly happened. The evidence will not show, the state cannot show, is who started it, how that fight started, where it occurred, how it ended.
And Kessler's lawyer knew that under Florida law, first-degree murder requires an element of premeditation.
There was simply no planning. This is after the fact, thinking on her feet, having to clean up a mess. She didn't plan this, and it goes clearly show that there was simply no premeditation in this case. Ladies and gentlemen, in this case, you will be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt one thing. That is, the state cannot prove this Kessler guilty first degree premeditated murder with a threat.
So, the women who worked at the Tangles hair salon would be key to the prosecution case to describe the bad blood between Kimberly and Jolene. Salon owner Vicki Simmons read text messages Jolene sent her about Kimberly.
Towards everyone is I'm just trying to avoid her. She has been real negative. There is something little off about her. I can't put my finger on her.
Jolene started to become suspicious of Jennifer Seibert. She, I think, doubted Jennifer Seibert's story of her life.
Salon manager Ann Morgan testified by Zoom.
She told these men to go away, I don't like you. Go away, I don't like you. And then.
Do you remember Jolene Cummings telling the defendant, "You're fake"?
You fake, yes. I remember told you fake, go away, I don't like you.
I think when she used the word fake also to Jolene meant that you're not who you say you are. Like, Jolene was good at her instincts about people. And that's why she was going to start Googling her to find out, who is this person?
Alright, so we're ready to get into that?
No.
Every single morning in trial, she was brought to the courtroom and asked if she would like to participate.
The director of the jail.
That's why I walked back up to advise you that these papers rested their case. And the defense now is their case and not to present evidence from the guy. I'm going to give you one to testify. So again, we'll give you an opportunity to advise you that and make sure that you want to stay in court. Maybe you're shaking your head.
Jordan here is Jolene Cummings' cousin.
The defense only called one witness.
We would call Detective Wayne Harrington.
And he was asked about the contents of a tote bag found in Jolene Cummings' SUV.
And was that bag also submitted to Florida Department of Law Enforcement testing? And the results of that submission was tested.
The defense rested its case in less than 1 hour after calling just one witness. Closing arguments begin at 8:15 Thursday morning.
Today's going to be closing arguments with jury instructions. let you be seated with your counsel.
I refuse.
Okay.
I refuse. Do you want me to say it again? Sure. I refuse this venal, unjust power. Jordan Beard is Johnny Comedy Cover. Jordan Beard is Johnny Comedy Cover.
So at this point in time, I will proceed to counsel for the state.
The defendant went the last person with Jolene. From her internet searches, it's obvious that she intended to kill her. The searches indicated that she considered she was considering killing Jolene Cummings by drug overdose. That's all the evidence you need to find the defendant's premeditation beyond a reasonable doubt. The defendant wanted Jolene Cummings, right? She killed her. She attempted to conceal her crime. Never last touched me. No lying or lying. That's a confession.
I submit that any one of us could have Google searches, web searches, cherry picked from our phone or our computer, taken out of context, could look evil or nefarious without saying, well, yeah, I was listening to this podcast, I read this article. Everyone following this case, everyone's been following this case for 3.5 years, has probably Googled something simple. That doesn't make them murderers. Web searches lack context. So what does all of this show? What has the state proof to the other reason that Jim was it was possible, conflict, after 5 o'clock, or less than that's what we know. What the state should not offer you, and absolutely no proof of it, are questions that you need to decide this case. Who started? Who was the aggressor in this fight? Who was defending themselves? How did it end? There are no answers to this question. You don't get to fill in the blanks. And it may not seem fair. Say, well, it could have been this, it could have been that. No. His offer shows both. It's no problem. Throughout this salon, front to back. Warner. So, jury, we're asking you to find this customer not guilty to self-defense. Thank you.
We're taking a live look here at the Nassau County Courthouse as we are on verdict watch. Right this minute, jurors are deliberating in the case against Kimberly Kessler for the murder of a Nassau County woman some 3.5 years ago.
Kessler has been advised that the verdict has been reached in your case, and we're going to give you the opportunity to participate and listen to the verdict. All right, and to do that, you can listen on. Mr. Rupp, please proceed.
Refuse.
Pardon?
No, thank you.
All right. Do you want to go back downstairs?
Yes.
All right, fair enough. You take her back. Madam Clerk, will you please publish the verdicts?
In the circuit court of the Fourth Judicial Circuit and for Nassau County Court, verdict count 1, degree murder. We, the jury, found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment.
It's been a long 3 years. 3 years, 7 months, and 9 days that my daughter Jolene was taken from us. Today we praise God. We praise God that we got the verdict and that it gives us some type of closure. I do have a message to Kimberly Kessler. As from one mother to another mother. If you could find it within your heart to tell us where the remains of my daughter Where are the remains of my daughter? Give us some closure. I'm asking you from one mother to another. All I have is this visual in my head of how my daughter was murdered. No body. So instead we have a bench that was dedicated by Jolene's friends, and I decorate that bench. I'm tired of going to a bench. My daughter's not there.
Kessler had one last opportunity to say what happened to Jolene's body. But instead, she continued to rant and rave.
We were hoping that Kessler would talk, but I don't believe she ever will.
And because there was no body, prosecutors felt they could not prove the needed requirements for the death penalty: heinous, cruel, and atrocious acts.
I can only imagine how Jolene was killed, but I don't know. I don't have a body or a medical examiner, a forensic pathologist to tell me. Was she stabbed 100 times? Was she stabbed twice? So really, it is, in fact, the absence of Jolene's body that made for us it impossible to seek death in this case.
So, case number 2018 CF 815 on the charge of first degree premeditated Jolene's time. This sport-wheel GK favored testing defendant, also known as Nick Larry Stiver, guilty, sentenced her to life in prison without any possibility of release.
As soon as she was sentenced, I wanted her out of our jail. The next day, she was on the first bus out of town, and we celebrated with cake and ice cream her homegoing. Because her home for the rest of her life, until she takes her last breath, is Florida State Prison. We were glad to get rid of her.
The message is to anybody else that has a loved one that's missing. If she did this to my daughter, how many more victims were there? To know that all these cities that she lived in, all the states, all the cities, all the aliases that she used, and that's a lot of places to be on the run. Do I believe she's done this before? Absolutely. Absolutely.